Sponsored by TrueTech Tools. Quality tools, essential support. TrueTechTools.com.
Whether you're working on a beard that makes you look like Abraham Lincoln or an Amish man, or you'd like to grow a beard, Dollar Beard Club has got all sorts of products to help you grow a healthy beard. They've got everything from brushes and combs to oils and waxes. So check out the link in the description, see if you can find something that'll help you grow your beard. Good morning. This morning we're working on a pane split heat pump, 3.5 ton. We've got a model number of Papa Foxtrot 4 Mike Nebraska Alpha 043. It's a 2008. Go ahead and get the door off of it. What's happening is that when the blower gets a signal for G, the motor will try to start, spin the wheel, try to start, and you can hear it in there trying. So we're going to go and pull the motor out and test it. We've got a 1/2 horsepower X13. This one shows a 621 2012. When all you're dealing with is a module, is pretty straightforward. Just for fun, we're going to ohm out the motor. We got 12.5 ohms, black to blue, 12.5 blue to red, 12.5 black to red. With the new motor, you get a couple of replacement screws and some paperwork. Basically gives you a general overview of checking it out. This one looks about the same as the old one. No real visual difference. Capacitors look a little different. They got silver tops instead of plastic tops. Put it on and see what we get. Put power back to it. We got motor ramping up to full power. I don't see any paperwork, at least back here. Maybe it's in that bag over there. Nah. Next thing we're going to do is just check static pressure, see how that looks. At the current setting, we got a 3.1 amp draw. We'll see if we can get this to balance out for a minute. Right now, static is at 0.54. What I'm going to do is isolate supply static by taking my sensor off of the return duct down to a 0.12, 0.11. Means most of our static is on the return, which is not necessarily surprising. Alright, we're going to fire up the condenser and see how it's going. We're going to check the capacitor with the old calculation method. We've got a constant of 2654. Multiply that by the amp draw on the hermetic side of the capacitor, which is 5.7, and then divide that by volts between common and hermetic. We got 366.8. We've got 4124. And I'm going to guess at this point, since I can't see the rating, that we're not doing too bad. We're a little under what the 45 typically should be. And then the condenser fan capacitor, amp draw on that, 2654 times 0.8 divided by the volts on capacitor to common, condenser fan to common. That's 372, and that is 5.707. That'd be 5.71 to me. And let it run for a little while, see if it'll balance out. Amps on the compressor's 11.4, and just for fun, let's go ahead and do the watts. We're going to roll up to the W here and take our voltage, and our power factor is calculated at 0.88, and our watts is 2.47 kilowatts. Our static pressure has climbed up to almost 6. It's 0.58 a minute ago. Subcooling target is actually 11, and we're running at 2. Pressure zones are a little low. Says that under current conditions we should be around 146 and 326. Ambient conditions. Crap. Ambient is 82, outdoor temperature, liquid line of 92, and suction line of 69. Return air is 81, supply air is 68. Current calculated capacity is 3 1/4. at almost 39,000 BTUs and 13-degree split. Current delta T is 13 degrees and target split under the current conditions is 11. We'll go ahead and put in some user inputs for electrical manually. Under the current conditions, our EER is calculating right above 13. At this point, I'm going to make a recommendation that the refrigerant charge be adjusted slightly to see if we can confirm that TXV operating 100% proper and try to get that subcooling up to the factory.
Turn right onto NC Highway 55.
Well, that went mostly painless. The customer did decline to have any refrigerant added to try to get that subcooling up.
Turn right onto North Main Street.
But obviously the system's been keeping them satisfiably comfortable. Can't force a customer to spend money. That's where we're going to leave that one for now. Next one we're headed to is a diagnostic first floor heat pump up there in Cary. So stay tuned and we'll see if we can get anything else. Well, that one really wasn't worth getting any video on. Just a capacitor and a dirty coil, and the unit was one of those old horseshoe shaped Goodmans, and the service access was right up against the wall, so trying to get any kind of a decent perspective on that one, I'm just making excuses. But regardless, change the capacitor, check the charge, and the system was running a 44 degree subcooling. Head pressure was over 300 and R22. So I went ahead and got the coil cleaned up to confirm that that wasn't part of it. It didn't look dirty, but there was a good possibility that maybe it was impacted. So I went ahead and cleaned that up and checked it again. So subcooling really didn't come down much, but the superheat was bottom of the barrel now. Previously it had started off about 17 and then dropped down to about 7, and now after the coil was clean it was down at 2. So actually recovered a pound of refrigerant on that to get my head pressure down, my subcooling down, and my superheat up a little bit. The thing about it was that it was a matchup between a 1995 Goodman heat pump and a 1983 General Electric air handler. So heck of a matchup there. 83 to 95, I'm pretty sure the condenser is probably a 10 SEER, and the air handler was a 8 SEER or something. But anyway, got them back up and running. They declined to have much else done to the system, so got them back at least a little bit better than they were by getting that head pressure down some. Right now I'm headed over to the train supply house to grab a couple of TXVs that I had condemned back in March for a customer, and he apparently recently called in to have those done. And then after that I've got another special diagnostic in Durham. So we'll see what else we can get video of, and we'll take you along for the ride. I guess I could give you a little bit of a summary on the one I just left. That one was a second opinion on another company saying that both of the zone damper motors and the zone board needed to be replaced. I get there and one zone damper's, fine. I switched the wiring on the zone damper to confirm that the damper closes, and then disconnected the wiring, confirms that it springs open, and then I moved on to the other damper, and I noticed that the set pin that sits beside those old spring open power closed Honeywell dampers was not in the pin hole. I was able to turn the whole damper assembly over and get that pin into the hole and then push it back in so that it would set into that pinhole. But typically you don't see that much play that it would be able to do that. So I gave it a little bit of redneck engineering and put a zip tie, your big zip ties for flex duct, around the assembly to make sure that it won't move itself out, which is apparently what happened. And when it moved out and then spun the damper motor, when it tried to open and close, the wiring apparently got some stress on it and the wire nuts came loose. So I reconnected the wire nuts, spun the motor around, set it back into its set pin, and put a zip tie on it to keep it from scooting out over time. And I don't see any issues with the zone damper at all. And then the damper motor, I don't think it needs to be replaced, despite the fact that it does have extra play in it. I'm guessing that some of those set washers that are on the shaft for the damper must have broken or come loose or something. But all in all, I denied the claim that the damper needed to be replaced and the zone board was not working properly. So on that last one, I got a chance to use the coil shot, the fairly new coil cleaning gun system, and I wouldn't say it's a bad tool, bad system for cleaning coils, but I don't feel like it is quite as powerful as the coil gun that I normally use at cleaning up a very dirty condenser coil. You saw that I used the coil shot initially and rinsed it over twice, and I still didn't feel like it was going to rinse off sufficiently. So I hit it with my standard coil gun with the big bucket of coil cleaner. It's definitely nicer than the big bucket of coil cleaner option, but I don't feel like the coil cleaning solution, the tablets that they have for that coil shot, are really quite as powerful as the standard coil cleaning solution. And I had the coil shot set on maximum foaming for both of the passes that I did on that coil. The other drawback that I see to the coil shot is that you have to use all of the tablet that you've got in there before you will get straight water. Even with the adjustment turned down low, you still get the tablet reservoir adjustment turned down low. You still get that solution coming through. There's not a bypass on that compartment to allow you to just run straight water. So, as much as those tablets are really compact and, they say that they're equal to such and such amount of standard coil cleaning solution, I don't know that I'm going to use that coil shot on anything other than PMs that pretty much have clean coils on them already, and looks like I'm going to burn through at least one tablet per unit just so I can run straight water on the next one. In summary, if you're doing PMs on units that are pretty much just in need of a light cleaning, the coil shot may do great. But for really dirty coils, I don't feel like it has the power of a standard coil cleaning solution. Appreciate your comments on that theory of mine. And my next one's another special diagnostic in Creedmoor, North Carolina. And I'm leaving from Durham. So that's where we're headed next. Well, our patient should not be this one, because that one's running. I don't see any tripped breakers. 20 amp for downstairs. 20 amp for upstairs. Condenser coil doesn't look bad. And what we're dealing with on this one is a 2.5 ton TWB from 2006. So we'll pop it open and see what we get. We'll kill the breaker first. There we go. We've got wasps and a bulged up capacitor. We'll get the meter out and see what we got. Since it won't start at all, there is a possibility that the the start capacitor is faulty. And if the start capacitor is not faulty, then it's out on thermal. But we got no power. Condenser fan is rated 5 microfarad and we're 0.067. And then the compressor is rated 40. And 0.073. Then the start capacitor is rated 135 to 162, and that one's not dead. So I'm gonna guess we're out on a thermal overload for the compressor. It'd be nice to have some thermal imaging. I could put a laser thermometer on it and see what it looks like, but we'll start with the capacitor and then see if we get the compressor to start. Alright. Pop the rest of the capacitor leads off. They don't build them as big as they used to, even this new. Well, we've got 9 amps, so we're definitely running the compressor. We're going to throw the Sporlan on and see what our charge looks like. So 30 degrees of subcooling definitely doesn't look good. I'm going to check the crawl space and confirm my metering device. 13 degrees of superheat does not bother me at all, but 30 degrees of subcooling definitely does. We got a nice little walkway coming over this way. Sealed crawl space and a TB 3-ton air handler. Just gonna peel the coil door back a little bit and see what the metering device is. I don't see anything on the door to confirm what meter it's got on it. And I can't see it from there either. So that's great. It does have a TXV on it. I would suspect that we're just looking at a pretty standard system overcharge. Obviously the condenser coil may be a little impacted, pushing head pressure up a little bit, but the way it's running at this point, it's doing a good job cooling. We had a 19-degree temperature split at the registers, and target of 18 at the time that I was checking. I think I would just at this point make a recommendation to have the system cleaned just in case, and then adjust the charge a little. Having trouble with the lock.
So I opted to throw the gauges on the other unit just to see what that charge looked like. And that one's a little different. Subcooling's not as high, superheat is not as low. Pressure's a little lower on the head. And suction is just a little different also.
At this point, we've left recommendations to take a little bit of refrigerant out of the first floor system to see if it responds positively with the expansion valve, and the second floor system suspecting a improperly operating expansion valve with a 21 degree subcooling and a 25 degree superheat. That would be my suspicion, that it's not quite opening that valve up like it should.
Turn left onto North Main Street.
But anyway, that's it for now. I am on call tonight, so if I happen to get anything else, I'll see if I can catch some video on it. Until then, have a good day. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. And we'll see you on the next video. Peace.
Check out ibleedr22.com, my new HVACR forum, and my website at www.hvacwithstevenrardon.com. Don't forget, you can use coupon code RARVID and get $10 off your purchase at TrueTechTools.com, or the coupon code RARIDVM for $10 off your IDVM 510 meter. Thanks to the 100-watt Vipers for allowing me to use their music also. You can search for my Facebook group at HVAC with Stephen Rardon, or follow me on Twitter at Juvenile77. Thanks for watching.
Troubles on